Hello everyone. Today let's see chapter 3 summary of Bhagavad Gita, that is about Karma Yoga. Let's start with the class. Arjuna asked Krishna that, "O Krishna, if in your contention knowledge is better than action, then why do you impel me to do this gruesome action, Krishna? With your words, there seems to be contradictory. You seem to confuse my mind. Deciding for good, which one is better? Tell me one thing by which I shall gain liberation." Then Krishna said Arjuna that, "O Arjuna, the twofold committed lifestyles in this world was already told by me in the beginning. The pursuit of knowledge for the renunciates and the pursuit of Karma Yoga for them who pursue activity. A person doesn't gain the state of actionlessness by non-performance of actions, nor does the person attain success out of mere renunciation. Indeed, no one ever remains for even a second without performing action, because everyone is forced to perform action by three gunas of Prakriti. They are Sattva Guna, Rajasic Guna and Tamasic Guna. The one who controls the organs of action sits with the mind, remembering those sense objects, is deluded, and that person is called a person of false conduct. Whereas Arjuna, the one who controls the sense organs with the mind, remaining unattached, takes the yoga of action, that is called as Yoga Buddhi, with the organs of action is far superior. Do action that is to be done, because action is superior than inaction. Even the maintenance of your body would be impossible by inaction. A person is bound by karma if it is not done as yajna. For this reason, being one free from attachment, perform action for the sake of that yajna. In the beginning, the Creator said that by this yajna you shall multiply. May this yajna be a wish fulfilling cow for you. Propitiate the deities with this yajna. May those deities propitiate you. Propitiating one another, you shall gain the highest good, that is moksha. The deities propitiated by yajna will give you desirable objects. One who enjoys objects given by them without offering to them in return is indeed a thief. Those who eat, having first offered the food to the god, are released from impurities, whereas the sinful people who cook only for themselves eat sin only. Living beings are born of food, and food is born of rain. Rain is born of yajna, and yajna is born of action. Yajna means punya. May you understand karma, that is rituals, prayers, etc. May you understand karma to be born of Veda, and Veda to be born of imperishable Ishvara. Therefore, all-pervasive Brahma abides always in yajna. A person who doesn't follow here in this life, this cosmic wheel is already set in motion. In this manner, one lives in sin, giving only the pleasures of senses, lives wastefully, Arjuna. Whereas for a person who is delighted in the self, who is satisfied within the self, contented in the self alone, there is nothing to be done. For that person, there is indeed no person here, no purpose here in this world for doing or not doing a action. Nor does such a person depend on any being for any object whatsoever. Therefore, always perform well that is to be done without any attachment, because by performing action without any attachment, the person attains the highest, that means moksha. Indeed, by action alone, Janaka and others gained liberation. Also, by merely seeing the desirability of protecting the people from falling into the unbecoming ways, you ought to perform action. Whatsoever an important person does, that alone the other people do. Whatever the person sets as proper, the world of people follows that. O Partha, that means O Arjuna. O Partha, for me there is nothing to be done. In the three worlds, in these three worlds, there is nothing to be gained by me, which is not yet gained. Yet I remain engaged in action. For should I not ever engage myself in action without being lazy, Arjuna? People would follow my example in every way. If I were not to perform an action, these people would perish. I would be the author of confusion in the society, and I would destroy these beings. O Bharata, that means Arjuna. O Bharata, just as the unwise who are attached to the results perform action, so would the wise perform action without any attachment, desirous of doing that which is for the protection of people. The one who knows the Atma should not create any disturbance in the understanding of an ignorant who are attached to the results of action. The wise person, steadfast in the knowledge, himself performing all actions well, should encourage the ignorant people to perform all actions. Actions are performed in various ways, impelled by the three gunas of Prakriti, that is, the body, mind, and senses. Diluted by the notion of I, one thinks I am the doer. Whereas Arjuna, the mighty armed person, the knower of the truth of gunas and actions, is not bound, knowing that the gunas express themselves in gunas, that is, body, mind, sense complex. Those who are diluted by the modifications of Prakriti become bound in terms of body, mind, sense complex and actions. One who knows the self should not disturb the others who don't know the self, that means who are non discriminating. Renouncing all actions upon me with a mind that is discriminating, devoid of expectations with reference to the future and any sense of mindness, without any anger or frustration whatsoever, fight, act, etc. Those people who constantly follow this teaching of mine with full of faith, without finding fault with the teaching or the teacher, they are freed from the hold of karma phalas. That means they gain moksha. Whereas those who, being critical of teaching without any reason and who don't follow my vision and who are deluded in all realms of knowledge and devoid of discrimination, know them as lost. Even a wise person acts in keeping with his or her own nature, because all beings follow their own nature of what use is control. There are longing and aversion in every sense object. May one not come under the spell of these two, because they are one's enemies. Better is one's own imperfectly performed dharma than a well performed dharma of another. Death is one's own dharma is better. Death in one's own dharma is better. The dharma of another is fraught with fear. Arjuna said, O Krishna, impelled by what does a person commit sin? As though pushed by some force, even though not desiring to. Then Krishna said, this desire, this anger are born of Rajasic Guna and a great sinner. Know that to be the enemy here in this world. Just as the fire is covered by clouds of smoke, just as a mirror is covered by dust, and just as a photos is covered by womb, knowledge is covered by a binding desire. Knowledge is covered by this insatiable fire of desire, the constant enemy of the wise. Its location is said to be the senses, mind, and intellect. With these, it dilutes the person by covering his wisdom. Therefore, Arjuna, controlling the senses at the outset, destroy indeed the sinner, the destroyer of the knowledge and wisdom. They say that the sense organs are superior to body, and the mind is superior to sense organs. Intellect is superior to the mind, whereas the one who is superior to the intellect is Atma. O mighty armed Arjuna, knowing that which is superior to the intellect in this way, having made the mind steady with buddhi, destroy the enemy that is in the form of binding desire, that which is so difficult to understand. Thus, chapter 3, that is Karma Yoga, is ended. So, this is about the chapter 3 summary of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you for joining. In the next class, we'll see chapter 4 summary of Bhagavad Gita.